Welcome back, everybody, to Verdane TV. RBR Maritime Group is back with another six-pack challenge, kicking off season number 4 here at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Thank you so much for tuning in here tonight to Verdane TV on the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitch, the Twitter, all the different social media outlets as we get ready to do battle here for a 150-lap feature here at Nashville. Getting ready to line them all up now on pit road. There you can see we've got 11 of the drivers of the RBR Maritime Group, mostly up in Canada, a couple of Americans peppered on in the field, and we're going to do battle here, try and find out who is going to start the show and who is going to go home and watch the race on Verdane TV. You can see young Tanton Woldridge getting the pole here in heat race number 1 with Wade Craswell starting on the outside. Caden Tufts, Aiden Christensen, and Travis Roma rounding out the top 5. Conrad Murphy, Brian Hacker, Tyler Layton, Danny Vitch, Scott Negus, and Brent Roy going to round out the 11-car field here for heat race number 1. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the booth, awaiting the arrival of Mike James from up on the rock. Looks like he may or may not have just made it to the door. Hopefully he brought some beer. Mikey, how we feeling?
Hey, I heard there was a party in Nashville. How can I miss out on this one? Tonight it's the start of the RBR, man. Bro, I got stuck in customs.
Apparently, but just in time to get this party started down here in Nashville. Everybody making the trip from the maritime area up in Canada, and we made mention a couple of Americans peppered on in here as well. On this very first day of February 2022, already the year getting moving on by, getting closer and closer to the real life racing season. But before we get there, another six-pack challenge here with the RBR Group. 6 races in season number 4. Going to crown ourselves a champion as we get ready to rock and roll as the cars and drivers are rolling on the track following that iRacing Mustang pace car.
What a massive amount of drivers here today. 30 in the lineup, but we're going to see some heat races to get things going. And look at that, Tanton Woolridge, who had a big, massive win this past week. Wade Craswell on the front row as well. So, big lineup here tonight, Paul. Pretty excited to be here for the start kickoff here in Nashville for the RBR Series.
100% stacked field, lots of cars and drivers here at the track, taking 26 for the feature event, 150 laps here at Nashville Speedway as we get the parade lap rocking and rolling. There you can see a Tesco Haviland Dodge Ford car and the number 62 of Wade Craswell, little Juan Pablo throwback there. How about the 88 of Tufts, the 24 of Christensen? Those guys always have beautiful paint schemes racing for Brett Suggs Racing and Marketing, and always a cool color combination. I love that flat black and that bright blue with a little foil kind of chrome addition to it. Very, very sharp Camaros.
These cats put just as much time into the simulator scheme as their real race cars in real life. So we're getting set to go as pace car gets exit here. Woolridge with the hammer to get things going here. Craswell on the outside. Second row, Tufts, Christensen. Third row, Roma and Murphy. Here we go, side by sides, except for that leader. Tanton Woolridge taking control of this one as they start to flare out. A couple bump-skis there in the corner of turn 2.
How about a little 3-wide efforts for your efforts? Wade Craswell in the 67. Hang on to it, holds on to it. Gets a little bumpski down on that inside wall, but he's going to go all the way back. We stay green. Tanton Woolridge holding on to the lead now in that 56 car. 88 Tufts right behind him. Roma in behind him. Christensen and Hacker, the top 5.
Great racing here in the early parts of this one, so good to see the heat races here, a bit of activity. Nice to always be back here in Nashville, one of my favorite tracks. One particular driver I didn't get to talk about yet was Brent Roy. He is not registered in this one. He is on pit road still, so maybe some server issues. But 10 in this one. Craswell and Layton to the tail here, but take us through the heat qualifying here. I know you told some of the fans there earlier, but I did not get the memo as I was going through security.
Taking 26 into the final event, the feature event of the evening, half dozen from each of these heat races, and then a consi race to round out the rest of the field, taking some of the drivers from qualifying as well to give us that 26-car field. And great to see these guys back and gals back on track. We recognize a lot of these names from the TCM special events and the Eastbound Esports events as well. A couple of drivers in there peppered in from the NEPS League as well, the New England Pennsylvania iRacing Group, and a lot of different leagues kind of joining together and racing here for the next 6 Tuesday nights. We're carrying so far the first and the last race of this six-pack challenge here with the RBR Maritime group, and you can see the 88 of Tufts wanting to try and peek a nose down low on Woolridge to see if he can maybe get the lead here with 4 laps to go in the first heat race.
I don't know if we're seeing a future of Atlantic Canada Young Guns. We've seen in the Maritime Pro Stock Tour, Dylan Blankhorn, Nicole Butcher battle for many years. But these two cats, both Bandolero drivers, I believe. I think Caden Tufts is still in the Bando. I have to get a chat with him a little bit later. But Tufts and Woolridge from the island of Prince Edward Island really battling it out here. And great to see some of these young Bandolero drivers showing their skill level in the server here in the last year or so during the pandemic. But always great to see the young class taking on some of the veterans that we're seeing here tonight. But full control here. About second and a half on the third place Roma.
That's one of the cool things about the iRacing service, the iRacing simulators. You can have all sorts of different racing styles, different racers from different cars, different tracks, different parts of the world, different racetracks, all sorts of different things on the racetrack at the same time, and we see that a lot here on Verdane TV and in the iRacing world as the white flag is out, and Dan Woolridge going to lead all of them down to the checkered flag, going to take the heat race number 1 victory, and he's got Caden Tufts right in behind him, Travis Roma, Aiden Christensen, and Brian Hacker, the top 5, Conrad Murphy, Danny Vitch, Wade Craswell, Scott Negus, and Tyler Layton, the top 10. Looks like Brent Roy doing race official duties here this evening, so he's being scored, but he's just kind of hanging out in the car down there on pit road.
Well, a little taste of what we should see this summer at 660 in Gary, New Brunswick. I've been told Brent Roy taking on some officiating this summer, so it'll be interesting to see what he has in store for us for 2022. But we're getting set for heat race number 2. We got another Roma boy in this one. I believe that's going to be Travis Roma. And now we got the 78 of Fitzpatrick, another Island boy, Giant Fitzpatrick. Island boy.
Just trying to make it. John Byron and the 57 starting in third. Ashton Tucker, Craig Tully rounding out the top 5. Todd Cousins, Mark Williams, Nicholas Mott, Bill Martin, and Norman Hamilton going to be the 10-car field in heat race number 2. And we're going to see where these guys feel that they can stack up against the guys that ran in that first heat race. So it's great to see, again, these guys back here ready to rock and roll, do a little bit of action, do a little bit of racing, and do a little bit of back and forth. How about that throwback paint scheme on the 78? Little Good Wrench Service super late model, little Dale Earnhardt for Johnny Fitzpatrick there.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Actually, it was just as I was putting the kids to bed there earlier on, I was reading a news article that a guy who went down in Las Vegas told him that Dale Earnhardt Sr. told him to cause that wreck. So a little tidbit of information that's been out there here today. So I guess Dale Sr. has been talking to people.
Apparently.
Nut job. Here we go. Travis Roma in the 83 going to get things going here. 10 on the board. Johnny Fitzpatrick to the outside. Keep an eye on that 57. Johnny Byron in run number 2. Ashton Tucker. He's going to be one to be watching as well.
Green flag flying once again. Heat race number 2 is down and away, and they are side by side heading on down into turn number 1. Little bit of bumper action. How about some 3 wide? Nope. Gonna think a little bit better up to 57. Gonna tuck right back into the tire tracks of Roma, and Roma gonna try and see if he can get back around the 78 of Fitzpatrick. Great start for the 78.
A little wobbly going on in the mid-pack there, but Johnny Fitzpatrick taking full advantage of that one. Ashton Tucker washing up the track in that 5th spot. So everybody all fair game here now, single file. Craig Tully moving into that 4th position. Almost got into it, but backed off the fuel there behind Johnny Byron and Roma. That could have been a very nasty first lap to get things going here in heat race number 2.
Looks like the 52 of Mott found himself off track just a little bit. We stay green. The 83 still has his sights set on the back bumper of the number 78 of John Fitzpatrick, trying to get up around him, trying to get himself a victory here in heat race number 2. And it's a little bit further on back to Craig Tully in that 5 car. He's under fire from the 57 of John Byron, trying to make it high, wide, and handsome, trying to get around on that outside line.
Well, Tully's the man on the move, picks up another spot And now trying to hunt down the leaders here. Roma and Fitzpatrick going at it, about 0.2 of a second off each other. But they have now gained a full second on Tully as the leaders now flare off from the rest of the pack. It's going to be a battle as we get to the cross flags here, halfway to Romance. For Johnny Fitzpatrick, will he be singing the Island Boy anthem in Victory Lane?
Taking a look right now, Todd Cousins in the number 2 car in that transfer spot, but he's under fire from Bill Martin in the number 39 car, who's up 3 spots. Oh, he gets into the back quarter panel, spins the 2 car around, and that is no good. That's not how you're going to get it done. We stay green. The 2 car pointed in the wrong direction, grabs the gear, gets going again for Todd Cousins. Going to have to see him in the Conti here with 4 laps to go here in the heat race number 2. The 52 Avant catches right back up into him. But back up front, John Fitzpatrick still holding on to the lead. The 78 car getting the better of Roma right now in the 83.
Well, this is a battle for front row here. If Roma can get around Fitzpatrick, he's going to have that nice, sweet spot on front row for the start of the main event here, for the kickoff here in Nashville. So it's not just about qualifying position throughout. This is a chance to be on the front row. So, I mean, Roma's going to want to try to make the move here, but it doesn't want to upset the balance between the two of them, that both of them end up wrecking here. So, white rag coming out. It's going to be the final lap. Can Roma get around the 78? Johnny Fitzpatrick trying to hang on the 78 machine in the Goodrich colors here. A little bit throwback, a little bit different from what we're used to seeing for the 78, but look at this move into 3 and 4. Roma going to try to pinch him here in the corner, but it's not going to stick. It's going to be the 78 of Johnny Fitzpatrick going to victory row and earning that spot on the front row for the main event.
Getting himself a good qualifying position there for the JPB Construction 150 here in Nashville Fairgrounds. The very first race, round number 1 in the 6-pack challenge for the RBR Maritime Group, season number 4. And going to kick it off here on another heat race. Riley Duncan, Rational Richard Drake starting up on the front row. Noel Fougier, Dave Cassidy right in behind them. How about that front 2 rows? Little who's who of Canadian sim racing there, and they're lining up down on pit road. AJ Hamill going to start in 5th. Justin MacDuff, Brett Suggs, the 33 from North Carolina in this one. Roger Down, Aaron Hebb, and Kyle Gammon going to round out the 10-car field here for heat race number 3.
Now, McDuff is a new one for me, but that's a great last one. Reminds me of McGruff, that crime-stopping dog, but hopefully we can get into the front row here and pick up some spots here and not end up in that LCQ. So this is your last heat race of the evening before we go to that last chance qualifier. And it's going to be Duncan, but we talked to Suggs quite a bit over the last couple of years. Been taking a lot of P2s lately. I'm just wondering if he's got something for us here tonight to really throw down and try to take a handle on a couple wins here this evening. I know RBR is going to be 6-pack, like you said. Big championship on the line for these guys.
100%. We usually see that 33 car up towards the front each time he's here on Vidane TV, but 30-some drivers here, taking 26 in the feature for the JPB 150 here in just a couple moments' time. And we'll be able to see who's going to make the field here. Little bit of a climb for Suggs. He's going to have to get up at least 1 position better to make it into the field here, taking the top 6. Half a dozen drivers from each heat race heading on down into the feature, and then we're rounding out the field with that last chance qualifying race here in just a moment's time. But before we get there, 10 more laps, another heat race. Riley Duncan up front, Rational Richard Drake right on the outside.
Do you remember the McGruff crime dog?
I do. Cruff McGuff 1902. I don't remember what the heck it was. I got dropped on my head a lot when I was a kid.
Those commercials on Saturday afternoon cartoons. Let's see what happens here. Crime pays. Let's see if McDuff can get to the front. I'm a new fan of Justin McDuff's number 20. Let's see what he's got for us here this evening. Duncan going to get the hammer here. 10 on the board here for heat race number 3. Rational Richard Drake on the outside. Fougier to the bottom of row number 2. Cassidy to the outside, like you said. This is going to be a dandy one. Let's see what happens here. 10 laps on the board. Your final heat race here to qualify into the main event. Green, green, green. It's all Duncan on this one on the start.
Great start for the drivers down on the bottom side. Riley Duncan pulls away just a little bit. You can see he's going to edge up in front of Rational Richard Drake. He's going to bring Fougier with him. The 36 car sliding on in to that second position. 1, 2, 3, single file. AJ Hamill side by side with Dave Cassidy for fourth.
I love the aggressiveness and the timing that Fougere had on the inside of row number 2, taking over that P2 away from Rational Richard Drake. Very difficult to time him from the outside here in Nashville. I know some of these guys got split screens, single screens, and some of them actually got the VR headset. As we see the 18 and the 33, this is the first time two cars are going to come around. I'm not sure if the caution is going to come out. They try to get it going here. I'm really impressed with the directors here tonight. Not hitting that yellow here in the heat race. They're holding back. I believe that's Brent Roy in the tower here tonight for the RBR series. So keeping it green here. Love seeing the green flag during these heat races and getting the schedule on the queue here. But it's all Duncan out front. Fougere in second. Rational Richard Drake, your top three. Cassidy on the outside of that top three. About a half second off on this one. So a little spread there from third and fourth.
A little bit of a fresh spread, and we're taking the top 6 on to the main show here tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to a little bit of heat race action. Got a big 150 lapper coming up here in just a few moments' time. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to Verdane TV here on a Tuesday night, Taco Tuesday of all nights of the week, over on the Facebook. That's right, 2 Tuesdays. And thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube. Be sure you give us a like, a subscribe, a share, all that good stuff. Let your friends, family, and everybody know that you're watching some entertaining iRacing action here on Verdane TV. Got to give a shout out to the boss man, Timbo Slice, out in the Facebook chat. I think it was the Facebook chat. Might have been the YouTube chat. At 2 in the booth here tonight. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. and Mike James from up on the rock. Little eastbound esports action going on up here. And 3 laps to go in the heat race, and lots of stuff going on up in your neck of the woods. We have any announcements we can make yet, Mikey, or are we still waiting for that ink to dry?
We are so close. You know, the whole season seems like people are getting mad. Everybody in the Maritimes and throughout North America throwing out their schedules. But we are going to be very close to making those big announcements in the next couple weeks. So I said to the guys, it's not May yet, so everybody relax and settle in. But a lot of activity right across the line to Canada as we see that white rag for Riley Duncan. The 97 controlling this one right from the very beginning. He's been dominant here in heat race number 3. Fougere and Drake still staying in that position. Checkers coming out for the 97. Duncan taking one home. Riley Duncan, man. I haven't seen Duncan take a lot of these checkers. Great to see that man out front. I believe he's got a Brett Suggs Motorsports sticker on the front. Looking sharp.
Looking sharp indeed. That 97 super late model, always quick. Duncan definitely knows how to get around a short track in one of these late models, and looks like he's in good company. Brett Suggs Racing and Marketing picking up that driver and having him join the team, and that is a powerhouse when it comes to super late models and short track racing in the simulated world. But now we get on to the 20-lap consolation race. Not entirely sure how many drivers we're taking, but it's going to be a 20-lap race here to fill out the rest of the field here for the big show, the 150 lapper here at Nashville Fairgrounds. Danny Vitch, Norman Hamilton going to start on the front row.
Look at a Mountain Dew paint scheme there for Danny Vitch, man. That's awesome. We've got Aaron Hebb in row number 2 on the inside, Wade Creswell to the outside. Row 3, Bill Martin will have Brett Suggs and the BCRM factory team. Scott Negus to the inside of row number 4. He'll have Nicholas Mott to the outside. And AJ Hamill will have Taylor Layton in row number 5. And Todd Cousins got Kyle Gammon in row number 6 to get things going here. Last chance for romance. Just 2 weeks from Valentine's. Got any lady friends coming up in 2 weeks there, Paulie?
No comment.
Tinder.
Yeah, somebody else's girlfriend, because then they can go home mad. But getting ready to do some consolation racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds.
Hey, there's a lot of girls on the sim these days.
Poof, smoke bomb. Distraction smoke bomb. But here we go, racing once again. And we've seen all these drivers out on track already, racing in these heat races. 3 heat races, taking 6 each. And I believe we're taking 6 here to get into the main show here. I'll have to double check the notes here that may or may not have spilled a beer or 2 on. But
fired.
Can't fire me. It's my show. It's Hamilton on the outside in the '09 Canadian Tire super late model. Danny Vitch with that awesome Mountain Dew, almost a Mountain Dew camouflage paint scheme there in the '29. Starting on the pole here,
Did
Heb,
you just
Craswell,
post a
Martin.
Mountain Dew alcohol product on Facebook today?
No, that was a couple days ago. Mountain Dew coming out with the Baja Blast Hard Seltzer or Hard Cider or whatever the heck it is.
It sounds like
Amazing.
acid reflux.
Oh, 100%. Baja Blast being the exclusive Mountain Dew flavor that you can only get at Taco Bell. So that's going to be interesting.
Race fans, I just found out today, and I don't know where I've been, but I just found out that Mars was coming out of Joe Gibbs, and it's going to be their farewell tour with Kyle Busch. So pretty sad news for the kids who are big fans of the M&M ride. But we're getting set here. 20 laps on the board. Danny Mitch with the hammer. We are green flag on the LCQ. Last chance for romance. We'll be taking a couple here for the big main event here. 150 laps coming up around the corner. Just tuning in. I'm Mike James from Eastbound International Speedway. My good friend Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. from the Vidane TV studios down in Connecticut. Calling some racing here on Tuesday night. 18s around. A couple cars coming around on this one. Still green flag, but our first caution of the evening is going to come out here on lap number 19.
Yeah, a couple of cars involved in this one. We're going to back up the U-House Racing Design instant replay, and this is going to be one of those ones we're going to have to take a kind of a wide-angle blimp shot here to find out exactly what went down. But we'll take a peek at that replay, and there you can see 93 getting into the 25, 52 route, kind of drifting around the track. He saves it, gets into the 2 goes around, the 18 goes around as well. That's A.J. Hamill. He's going to find himself down on pit road in the garage area. It may very well be done here for the evening. So that's a tough break for both Todd Cousins and A.J. Hamill. Still 10 cars in this field. Brent Roy being scored as 13th, but again, Brent doing little race official duties here this evening. So he's down there on the racetrack. But caution flag number 1 here in the Conti and of the night with 18 laps to go.
He's doing a great job in the booth. The official here tonight, Brent Roy, holding back on the yellow flag here this evening. So great job from him. This is our first caution. So ticking away here as the program continues, getting set for the big main event. This launch, bazooka this season off for the RBR season. So right here in Nashville, I believe we're going to be moving around quite a bit. So it's going to be interesting to see all the tracks that we got on the board. I believe February 1st. Where are we heading February 1st?
Today's February 1st.
Oh, it is February 1st. Sorry. Where's the next one? We're going to Lanier. There you go. That's a nice one. SNMP 150 is going to be February 15th. And then we got the Lucas Oil. 5 flags. Man, quite a few tracks on the schedule here.
Pretty cool to see 6 of the different short tracks here for the 6-pack challenge, RBR Maritime season number 4. Kind of similar to what the SRX series is doing and just announced, and phenomenal to see. July 4th weekend, July 2nd, going to be returning to Stafford Motor Speedway. If you haven't had the opportunity and you do get a chance to get to the racetrack and check out the SRX series, absolutely do it. The amount of electricity at a short track, in short track America, made it feel like there was a cup race going on at Stafford Speedway. 10,000 people, sold out, people stacked on top of each other as Danny Vitch gets a little bit loose in that 29 car, but holds on to the lead. Gets a little bit of an attack now from Martin in the 39 car, but checks up just a little bit, side by side for third. But definitely check out that SRX series.
Everybody licking each other trying to get COVID at Stanford, but all well, and what a great race that was for a local boy taking that one home, man. That was electrifying when he took the win. But look at this move from the 33. That's Brett Suggs to the bottom here as he takes full advantage of the track here. 39, Martin is going to move over to B2 as we got a car hard into the wall to the back of the field here. I believe we're still going to stay green here. That's I believe Mott to the back here. So we are still green flag. 13 laps to go here on this one. Brett Suggs in control.
Brett Suggs not playing around anymore, knows he needs to have himself a good finish in the consolation race, and that's something we don't usually see very often. But he's going to get himself up towards the front, hold on to the lead here with caution flag. Tyler Layton may might be involved. There you see a little bit of damage there on the front of that racing machine. So we're going to back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, and looks like a couple of cars involved in this one. We'll take a look here once again at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay from up on the blimp. And you can see there's the action. The 27 into the back of Craswell, and the 67 hard into the outside wall. 93 gets collected. Little bit of a flippy-do. 1.5 flips for the 67. Sticks the landing. 8 out of 10, it looks like. But all drivers keep on moving and ready to rock and roll for the final 15 or so laps here in the consolation race. And speaking of Busch earlier, Ron, Mikey, did you know Dale Jr. was going into the Hall of Fame?
I did, yeah. It was great, man. I've actually followed up on that one and actually got to see some live feed, but spend some time in the Hall of Fame right here at Eastbound International, being a NASCAR home track. We spent a lot of time in Charlotte with our award ceremony at the end of the year with our champions, and got to spend a bit of time in that Hall of Fame. Unbelievable spot, and such rich history of this great sport that we were all involved with. And it's great to see where the sport, from rum runners to now into the server virtual reality, where it's come over the last 70 years. I know I'm looking forward to the finale here. Just looking at the schedule here, we're going to end up in Hickory, man. You talk about legends in the 1950s. You talk about the Hall of Fame. Ralph Earnhardt, Junior Johnson, some of those guys that are in that Hall of Fame, they were made famous at Hickory. So that's where the finale will be for the RBR. So it's to be great to get back to Hickory. I love that track. Bit bumpy, but amazing racing groove. There's lots of two-wide racing, so excited to see the finale here for RBR at Hickory, the third mile from the legends of NASCAR. So great to see that one on the schedule. 10 to go, or 8 to go here as Suggs gets it going here, nice and calm out of the hole here. Little two-wide action back there in row number 2. Vitch and Hamilton going at it. But they're going to straighten that out as that battle continues backwards now to Hamilton Hebb, as well as Todd Cousins now coming into the mix. The 2 car, nice little paint skis on the 2, trying to make something work here on the outside, and decides to check up here. But look at this battle for that 5th position. Hebb and Hamilton going at it.
Little steel cage racing here at Nashville, and Hickory going to be the closing race here for the six-pack challenge. Ooh, a little bit of contact, a little bumper car action. We keep it straight, we keep it green. And we just raced a handful of races with Tim's Corner Motorsports, Eastbound, and NEP at Hickory Motor Speedway. You can see all those races over on Vidane TV, and we got to call those races with another Hall of Famer, Dazzling Dylan Landchild, in the Canadian Motorsports Hall of Fame.
Dazzling Dylan, yeah. Love Dylan. But great to have Smokin' Joe Chisholm on the show from Racetime Radio as well. We'll see him throughout the season, and hopefully maybe we'll get him on one of these shows for RBR. I know he's always great to have up in here in the booth, but we're getting this one close to the finale here as they come around here in the corner here. They're going to make it 3 to go here in just a moment. Suggs controlling this one by 0.6 of a second. Keep an eye on that. Todd Cousins wants to make the show here, trying to make some moves now to the bottom. He was working the outside line on that 66 of Hebb, but trying to make anything work here. Wants to get into the big show here. Everything's on the line here as Mott has been pushed back and in that 7th position. So this is going to be a dandy here in the final couple laps here, Paul.
Got to give a shout out to Tolco Electric on the hood of the number 2 car, one of the presenting sponsors here for the RBR Maritime Group, the six-pack challenge, season number 4. And you can see Cousins holding on to that 6th spot now, right in behind the 66 of Aaron Hebb, trying to get up around him, but it looks like he's able to get to the back bumper, and that's about it. But white flag, white rag for the 33 of Brett Suggs, and that sounds more like a familiar line we've said a time or two here on Vidane TV. Coming out of turn number 2 with style and grace. The 33 sends it on into turn number 3. Comes out of turn number 4. He sees that checkered flag. Little sideways, slideways action. Brett Suggs is going to be the consolation race winner.
Slide job.
Slide job.
Slide job. Slide job. Oh, your top 3, Suggs, Martin, and screen's gone. We are now going to get set for the Nashville 150. Big night here to get things going for the RBR Maritime iRacing Series. Tolco Electric, the official sponsor for this one here. JPB Construction 150, presented by RBR. But Lots of people getting involved with this season, but a big shout out to Tolko Electric for getting it all happening for the 2022 season.
100%. These drivers have about a minute and a half of warm up to kind of get the kinks worked out and everything ready to rock and roll and get ready for the 150 lapper here at Nashville Fairgrounds. And you can see these drivers lined up on pit road, just kind of feeling everything out, making sure they're good to go with that. Some drivers electing to go out on track and maybe get a couple of final quick warm-up laps and make sure everything is good to go for their setup here. We're going to see if we can talk to one of the race officials here for tonight and just kind of get his opinion on the racing. Brent Roy, Paul Strickland up in the booth. You got a copy?
What's going on tonight?
Oh, just kicking it back with my buddy Mike, having a couple of cold Wobbly Bops and drinking some ice cold Coronas. Cup of tea. Great racing so far here tonight with the heat races, the consies. What are we looking forward to here in the 150 lapper?
Looking forward to more of the same. The boys are kind of minding their P's and Q's, as I always say, and being fairly respectful. And if we had a couple dust ups there in some of the heat races, but the guys gathered it up, didn't sit on the track, and was really nice to see that. So pretty respectful bunch of people here who've raced together for a long time. Should be a pretty good show here at the end of the night.
100%, and 26 drivers making the official field here for the very first race of the Six-Pack Challenge, season number 4. You got work to do just like we got work to do, so shut up, Brent. Get back to work.
Thanks for having me, boys. Maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later tonight, and I think we're going to have a good show.
100%. Brent Roy jumping in at the racing officials here tonight, and going to be a dandy, like you usually say there, Mike.
I always find it rude that these guys that come into the booth and don't bring beer with them. We're sitting here on the call here. Those guys get a little bit of breathing room, but they never bring in beer.
There's a cooler right behind you. I bought a 2-4 Corona before the show. Come on now. I'm not just show up here empty-handed.
Bush.
But how about that front row? Chris Roma on the 83 on the inside. Brett Suggs, a racing and marketing factory team, brings us Caden Tufts. That 88 car going to start on the outside pole.
Riley Duncan and the 97 team will have Johnny Fitzpatrick to the outside in row number 2.
Right on behind them, how about this? Tanton Woldridge and Noel Fougier, a couple of young drivers from Maritime Canada, starting 5th and 6th.
And in row number 4, Travis Aroma in the 38 machine will have Craig Tully in the 5 to the outside.
The Laker News 141, the Rational Richard Drake starts 9th with Aiden Christensen, another Brett Suggs racing and marketing driver, starting that 24 car in 10th.
And as they roll out, row number 6, Johnny Byron in the 57 will have my good friend Dave Cassidy in the 13.
Right on in behind them, Brian Hacker in the 111. Right outside of him is going to be Ashton Tucker in the number 2 car.
And row number 8, Roger Down will have Conrad Murphy as his partner in crime to the outside.
17 and 18th brings us Mark Williams in the 42 down on the inside, and the Empire Racing Team number 20 of Justin McDuff.
Well, look at that, 19 position, Brett Suggs for the BSRM factory team. The 33 got a long way to go to the front. He'll have Bill Martin, number 10.
Danny Vitch in the 29, starting in the 21st position. Norman Hamilton in the 09 on the inside of him. And you can see the rest of the field there. Aaron Hebb, Todd Cousins, Taylor Layton, Nicholas Mont, and Scott Negus starting shotgun in that number 93 car. This is going to be a good one. 26 drivers on the field getting ready to take the green flag. And there you see that front row. Chris Roma, Caden Tufts, 1 and 2. The iRacing Mustang pace car is down on pit road. We are green flag racing here at Nashville Fairgrounds to kick off round number 1 in season 4 of the RBR Maritime Group.
Right here live in Nashville. And look at this attack from the outside. Travis Aroma with Tufts going out at the 88 to the outside, looking sharp here. And look at the 97, Duncan holding on to that P3 on the bottom. Almost tried to make it 3 wide and handsome there, but decided to check up and chase down the 83 for the back bumper. What a wild ride here in the first early opening of this one. 2 laps in, and Caden Tufts and Travis Roma, or Chris Roma, taking the gloves off here in the early parts.
I still can't get over how beautiful that 88 car is. Holding on at 2 seconds, sliding on back to third now as Riley Duncan takes the 97 down on the inside. He's going to try and see if he can chase down Chris Roma, but Caden Tuff's in the 88, holding tough on the outside, kicking it up a little bit higher than everybody else on the racetrack, showing everyone that that thing can definitely work on the high side, and that's going to be something to keep an eye on here all night long as we race lap number 4.
Great view from inside the 88 just a moment ago as we seen Riley Duncan take over that P2 from the inside. The 88, Caden Tuff's trying to get something to work on the outside, but tires a little cold ski here in the early parts, trying to get something going on the second groove, but was not enough and lost that spot to Riley Duncan. But interesting to see some of these drivers trying to work that outside as we see the 5, Craig Tully, trying to get it to stick to the outside against Rational Richard Drake.
These drivers side by side for a couple of laps now on board with Richard Drake in the 141, and you can hear just how hard off the throttle in these corners, and almost hard on the braking too, depending on who's in front of you. You don't want to run over the driver that's in front. Right in behind, you see the 111 of Brian Hacker trying to get down and away, down underneath the 141 of Richard Drake, and you can see side by side now as they come out of turn number 2.
Yeah, Hacker made a beautiful move there on the 141 with the crossover, like you said, but picking up spots here as the 24 is going to try to go with them as well here. But lots of activity across. I'm loving the racing grooves right here. Seeing a little bit of raciness in the mid-side, and some of the guys attempted to drop to the bottom here when they see the hole open here. But lots of activity in the first 10 laps here. 150 on the board, plenty of time. A lot of respect on the track right now, but it's all Chris Roma at this point. So he only has about 1/10 of a second on Duncan. Very tight quarters on the front row.
We're just going to keep the camera on the 24 car of Aiden Christensen at this point. Look at how beautiful that paint scheme is. Oh, a little bit sideways there. He knows he's on TV, just kind of waving and saying hi to the fans. But chrome numbers, flat black, a little bit of blue in there. Just absolutely gorgeous paint scheme there by Brett Suggs. He's done a couple of paint schemes for myself in the iRacing service, but I think he's going to end up having to redo my fleet because I really like that combination.
Rational Richard's been stuck out there for some time now. He's lost quite a few spots, but still trying to make it work there in the midline as he goes toe-to-toe with Christensen. Like you said, 24 still to the bottom here, but really close quarters right now with the 5 of Craig Tully to the outside. Really jamming it up here right now in that 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th position. Beautiful little battle for the top 10.
Speaking of Suggs, how about that 33 car up to 13th? He's gained 6 spots now in 13 laps, and car looks relatively clean. Not too much damage there, and he's got a gaggle of cars in front and a gaggle in behind him, so making that 33 car work for him for sure. And I don't think we've seen the last of Brett Suggs. He's still got plenty of time to get up towards the front of the pack, and it looks like yellow flag going to fly here for the very first time on lap number 14. Norman Hamilton in the 09 car. Looks like a little bit of a puff of smoke there. So we're going to have to back up the old U-House Racing Designs instant replay and take a peek here. And speaking of U-House Racing Designs, Bren U-House shooting me a U-House Racing Designs button box. Finally got the thing unpacked. Finally got the thing hooked up. This thing's got switches. It's got lights. It lights up when you push the buttons. It's got the toggle switches. All sorts of neat stuff. So check those guys out on U-House Racing Designs on Facebook. Lots of cool stuff for sim racers, by sim racers, and a big-time sponsor now of the instant replay. And there you see the 09 getting a little bit of assistance, sending himself on around in the 09 car. Grabs the gear, points it in the right direction, and gets rolling once again. You can tell that car's fast. He's got chrome rims. That's like 5 extra horsepower.
You know, I've heard a lot of debate about the chrome rim and the true, I guess the true racer is, you know, the black rim, but some guys like to dice it up. You know, there was an argument. I remember I was at Speed Weeks at New Smyrna, and there was a bit of a chatter about the extra weight that the chrome puts on the rim, and rotational weight is everything when it comes to motorsports. So, you know, a bit of a debate there, but it always looks great on a car, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Racers all have their own opinions about just about everything, but we're lined up 2 by 2 now.
Opinions are assholes.
100%.
Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one, and most of them stink. But
We
lined up
just
2
got
by
fired.
2. Yeah, 100%. Lined up 2 by 2 here. Roma down on the inside. Duncan up top. Tufts, Fugier, and Woolridge, the top 5. Getting ready to go. Once again, the green flag drops. Roma gets the start he needs. Clear by 3, 4. 4 car lengths now as they shoot on down into turn number 1.
I was excited to see if there was something going to come out of that 36, but he's decided to play it safe here now as he tries the outside and tucked into the inside behind Caden Tufts. But on that original start of this one, Caden Tufts lost that battle to Riley Duncan, but everybody holding on. It's still the early parts here. You don't want to use up too much of the car here, and record some laps is probably the game plan from our top 5. But Fougere had a great run, great restart on that start, but we got the 85 around, 89, I believe. That is.
It's going to be Conrad Murphy there in the 89.
Murph.
Running up in the mid-pack. Might have had a little bit of assistance. U-House Racing Design Instant Replay can tell us the tale of that. Keep an eye on the Napa Auto Parts number 89. And there you see Ashton Tucker. Yeah, getting up into the wall there, collecting the 89, shooting him down onto the inside wall. Spanked that inside wall. Lots of damage in the front of that car. So we'll be seeing that 89 down on pit road for sure. Tanton Woolridge, Brian Hacker are going to come down pit road this pit stop as well.
New paint scheme for me for Conrad Murphy. That's why it took a little bit for me to kind of dial in on who it was. But I'm liking the Napa Auto Parts ride for the 89 as we're seeing a lot of fellas chasing down pit road. A lot of activity on there. Tanton Woolridge is in. We've got Brian Hacker, Ashton Tucker as well. Bill Martin, Mark Williams, Justin McDuff down pit road getting some servicing here on lap number 20. 130 to go here, and a few drivers taking a shot ski of getting a splash here and changing it up here in strategy. I'm sure several of them are coming in for a long run, but we've seen 2 cautions here in just 20 laps. So some of the spotters and crew chiefs now changing their plans and seeing if they can make the best of it here. As we get everybody down, Conrad Murphy, the last to come out of pit road. Everybody still on the lead lap here with 21 completed here in Nashville. Big Machine Vodka on pit road. It reminds me of the old days of monster trucking back down in the States, and Big Machine was involved a little bit there, but big popular brand in the music industry out of Nashville. Hell of a vodka.
Yeah, all vodka is good vodka, I think.
It's potatoes.
Potatoes, a little potato juice.
Go-to drink, walk in the bar. What a showtime, Paul Strickland. Order or not?
Usually it's a Corona Light and a shot of Jack to get tuned up, and then we go from there.
That must be a Connecticut thing, because my boy Danny Dirtbag, that's the
Danny
first thing,
Dirtbag.
a shot of Jack before we have a steak.
You got to get primed up, man. The other drink, a buddy of mine, he's a bartender, one of my favorite bar joints out in the big city of Moodus. He came up with the Irish Lotus. I'm not sure what's in it, but it ends up being a pink drink, and it's like 3/4 of a pint glass of Jameson with like ginger ale and some other stuff.
Nice.
Really good drink. It's like $11, but really, really good. Speaking of really good, Green Flag Racing once again here on lap number 23. Roma with another phenomenal restart. Duncan right in behind him, and that beautiful paint scheme, the 88 of Tufts. In at third, Noel Fougere, John Fitzpatrick in the top 5. Look at the names in the top 5. Roma, Duncan, Tufts, Fougere, Fitzpatrick, Roma, Christensen, Drake, Tully, Suggs. That is one hell of a top 10. Almost a who's who in sim racing here.
Top 10. Keep going. Look at the names that are right through that whole field.
The whole field.
Anybody in this field could take the win here tonight. The who's who in Atlantic Canada. Part of the RBR series here. 25 laps completed at 150. One to watch right now, Travis Roma, top 6 here. Great looking ride, always looking sporty in that yellow and chrome. That is the 38 of Travis Roma. Chris Roma, his brother, on the front row, has took a huge first win for himself in 2022. We're going to want to take dominance here in the RBR series, as he has a lot of rear view mirror right now as Riley Duncan challenges for that lead. Gets in a core paddle on the inside here. We're going to go too wide and handsome side by side. They battle here into the corner. wild lap number 27 for Riley Duncan.
Up to the bumper, up to the door, not quite clear. You could put a zip tie in between those two door handles if these cars had door handles, but Riley Duncan trying to make it work down on the bottom side. It seems like that high side starting to come in. Just as I say that, Riley Duncan takes over the lead. Slide job up in front of the 83 Aroma, new leader, the 97 of Riley Duncan. And like I made mention before, Duncan knows a thing or two about these super late models, works really hard on the setups that he puts in that thing, and he's racing late models almost every single night here in the iRacing Simulator, and you can too. 40% off for new members at iRacing.com. You can race these super late models here at Nashville Fairgrounds and all sorts of different tracks across the world. Across the world, not just the United States, not just Canada, all over the world. There's tracks that you can download, purchase and download, and race pretty much any kind of vehicle you can think of, from NASCAR to dirt track racing to super late models to off-road trucks to drift cars. There's all sorts of cool stuff that you can check out at iRacing.com. Let them know that Vidane TV sent you, and well, they're not going to give you a discount, but maybe they'll shoot us a couple bucks, maybe some beer money or something. But still racing here, green flag racing at lap number 31. Duncan holding on to the lead. Roma is there on his back bumper. He wants that lead back. And oh, by the way, how about Caden Tufts in the 88 car holding on in the third spot?
Yeah, all those tracks around the world, but one in particular they just added was the Clash, which is coming up in just a week. Big showtime in the football LA Coliseum. But third caution's out here on lap number 32. We're going to have to take it back because it was not on the screen, but I think we're looking at the 93.
93 is Scott Negus, pointed in the wrong direction. Taking a quick peek here, you can see gets everything looks good heading on into the turn. Gets a little bit of assistance there from the 63 Aaron Hebb. Spins it around. Toco Electric on the hood of the 93. Going to give them another shout out being on board for the RBR group. And you can see a little bit of damage there on the right rear, but caution flag flies once again. And that was the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. And Mikey, these guys have a little bit of sponsorship opportunities available. Caden Tufts, John Fitzpatrick, Tanton Woldridge, Mark Williams, Ashton Tucker, Conrad Murphy, all coming down pit road to get service here on the third caution here on lap number 34. But with the TV schedule, first race and last race at Hickory Motor Speedway next month, live on Vidane TV. That leaves 4 races that we've got some sponsorship opportunities available. If you want to get your brand or your company or your logo out there, get in touch.
How much does it cost?
Well, you'll have to talk with Craig Tully, the number 5 car here, league owner.
How about we call it Mike James Goes Streaking 150? I'll pay for it.
There you go. We'll have to reach out to Craig Tully. Green flag out once again. Little quickie caution here. Riley Duncan gets the restart he needed right in front of Roma by about 2 or 3 car lengths. Ooh. And the caution flag comes out once again.
You know what? I don't know if we can get Brent Roy in here, but was this a jump here? Because that kind of this could be a false start here.
See if we can do that real quick. Oh, was that a false start there, Brent? Quick caution.
Yeah, a little miscue up here with time and scoring, so all's good.
Everything's good to go. No, you're doing a great job,
right.
Brent.
We're knocking off the rest up here too. That's all right.
100%.
Good job, Brent. Yeah, it was kind of strange because it just didn't seem like the field was organized there. Just all of a sudden, it was like bang, we were into it. So, good call from our officials to restack this here and get it all sorted out. We want a great fair race here in race number 1 of the RBR series. It's a 6-pack season for 2022. And like Paul said earlier, we definitely do not want to call it Mike James Goes Streaking 150. So interested in putting your brand on one of these races. Great opportunity for your brand and getting out there. A lot of viewers in the motorsport industry right across Eastern Canada, Newfoundland, Labrador, as well as Atlantic Canada, even into Quebec and Ontario. So you want to get that brand out there. Be a part of the show. Take one of these titles for the RBR series.
I like that tagline, Mikey. Be a part of the show. Sponsor us here at Vidane TV. I like that a lot. Tip your announcer. Tip.vidane.net.
We're going streaking.
We're not going streaking. Pay us and we won't go streaking.
Crank the tank.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. Well, And we are 1 week away from the launch of NASCAR, which is great to see the RBR series in line with the launch. The Clash, less than a week away. Man, oh man, I don't know who came up with the concept. I guess Bowman Gray was part of that mix. You know, the wave of short track inspiration coming back. You see all these tracks now joining up into the iRacing server, and some of the old guys and retirees talking about where NASCAR went and what has been lost over the years, and a lot of talk about short track racing and bringing it back, dirt track racing at Bristol, so many different variations coming into the sport. But man, it's going to be pretty tight, man, at the LA Coliseum next weekend. I was checking that out online, and I think even just in this iRacing server, if you haven't done it already, you need to get in there. It's going to be a wild weekend.
Yeah, for sure. And it's one of those things where they first announced it last year that they were going to do the LA Coliseum, and you kind of look at it and you're thinking, what in the world are they doing? But it's a short track.
I love the Bowman Gray series.
Yeah, I have opinions about Bowman Gray, but that's just me. But it's great.
It's always great when the sheriff rests half the field. So.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
I'll give you a little quick story. So the director of NASCAR flew up to Newfoundland for one of the races, and we ended up having a fight, and the police showed up, and we had to arrest 2 people, and blah 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 blah. Short track racing. Anyways, I looked at him. I said, you know what? I said, this is not something that happens every day here at Eastbound, and kind of put my tail between my legs, and he looked at me. He goes, "Oh, these guys are just pussycats, man. You need to go to Bowman." So, but it seems to be part of the sport. The tempers, the flair, the adrenaline, everything about it. Sometimes the steam just blows off. And we've seen some activity even in Cup Series. The Logano seems to be always in the middle of some of those rackets, but it's like hockey. Some people don't agree with hockey fighting, but the fans sometimes like a little scuttle.
For sure. Logano, a Connecticut boy, just like Ryan Priest, landing a job with Stewart Hahn Racing as their simulator driver. How about that? 10 years ago, you never would have thought of that would have happened. Lights still on in the pace car, getting things sorted out here for race number 1 in the RBR 6-pack challenge, the 4th season that these drivers have done battle. And it's great to see short track racing coming back to NASCAR, having the race at the LA Coliseum there. And I hate telling a story without having the information behind it, because I don't remember which track promoter it was, but basically came out and said, if you guys have a scuffle on track, don't use your cars to fight. Park it in turn 4, get out of the car, take your helmets off, and fight like men. And when it's done,
I don't know if he's listening, but
when it's one-on-one and it's good to go, we'll settle it, and the first guy that falls down loses. That would be cool. Having a little bit of hockey fighting at short track racing, I could get behind that.
Well, there was a promoter here in Newfoundland. Eastbound was originally called Avondale Speedway. It was a dirt track, and Bern Hickey, a legend from the 60s, a driver who's been all over North America, he used to put him on the front stretch and let him go at it in front of the crowd. So a bit of a NASCAR wrestling promoter. So, but we are back to green flag here on number 43. So Bern Hickey's out there listening. Big shout out to you and a salute to your career in short track racing across North America, not just in Newfoundland, but elsewhere. I know he's traveled quite a bit in the Maritimes, and he's a big fan of Junior Henley.
Speaking of short track racing, got a little bit of it on our hands right now. The 97 of Riley Duncan leading here, crossing the stripe in lap 45. 105 left to go here in the biggest season opener. Riley Duncan showing that he knows a thing or two about these super late models, and all the way back through the field, top 10, top 12, pretty much single file all the way through. Little side-by-side action back there about mid-pack. But Mikey, we've seen some great racing here tonight throughout the heat races, throughout the consolation race, and here in the first 50 or so laps in the feature. And I got to tell you, man, it's a great opportunity to get your name out there, your brand out there, your logo. If you make your own custom beer, get your custom beer out here. Maybe send us a case, and we could set up a sponsorship or something like that. But definitely reach out to the RBR Maritime group on Facebook. Do a quick search. They'll pop right up. Get in touch with my man Craig Tully, racing in the number 5 car, just outside the top 10. A little bit further outside of the top 10, I guess. Nope, just kidding. He's in 7th. He's in the top 10. Having a pretty solid run, and He'll be able to hook you up with a little sponsorship information. 4 races here that's currently penciled in as not being broadcasted. And man, Mikey, I'm watching this race. I'm watching the heat races and the action we're seeing on track. These 6 races need to be on TV. Come on.
Let's go. Yeah, 100%. And maybe we can get Domino's Pizza to sponsor and send
that'd be awesome.
To the announcer tower. But hint, hint. But let's, as we get to the 1/3 mark, let's just ride aboard the 97 of Riley Duncan. Let's get inside that one and talk about our leader here. Because I'm really impressed right now with Riley Duncan and his career over the last couple of years here in the sim as you watch him in the entrance here. Dude, this guy is smooth here tonight to get the RBR series. We've called a lot of races. Duncan was always great, and you know, don't take this the wrong way, but he just looks so good. Like he's obviously done his homework and has been putting the time in, because, dude, that guy is looking off the charts here tonight. He's going to be a hard one to beat as we get to the 5th caution here on lap 51. That's going to bring in our good friend, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. Junior, you there?
That's me. Gonna take a look. Looks like somebody spilled a little bit of the Mountain Dew all over the track. Junior, we need a replay. A U-House Racing Design instant replay. There's the calamity that caused it. The 66 up into the wall, comes back down, gets a little bit of a Vitch slap. Vitch with a V, and then he hits the stank barrels down there at the entrance of pit road.
That's a tire, man.
Oh,
I think it's a tire.
Oh, it is a tire. How about that? He hits the stank tire. Big time damage. Leader on pit road. How about that? Riley Duncan comes on down. Travis Roma, Craig Tully, Aiden Christensen, John Fitzpatrick, Suggs down. Hamilton, all on pit road, getting some service here on lap number 52. How about it?
That who's who of this race at the 1/3 marker down pit road, servicing some quick turnarounds there. So probably just a splash and 2 tires here as once we get into a little bit deeper here, we'll keep an eye on pit road activity and what we have on the service arrangements for each vehicle. But I think that's going to be our last crew of them to come down pit road. Chris Roma opted not to go on this one, so actually there's quite a few not to be serviced just yet. I believe Richard Drake, Dave Cassidy, Wade Craswell still not serviced, Johnny Byron, Todd Cousins, Taylor Layton, as well as Nicholas Mott not taking service just yet. AJ Hamill as well, and Aaron Hibb are the only ones not down pit road yet. So you see the strategy there on the screen as Paul just showed. A couple of them down at the early parts. So this is a real complex equation for the crew chiefs here as we get close to getting back to green flag. 5 cautions here in the first 53 laps. Some great racing. At the early parts, we've seen some mid stuff. We've seen some 3 wides, 2 wide, and some raciness on the front row between our leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. A mixed bag of results here for the construction of this race. We put together words and made a sentence. How about that? See if we could talk to maybe our 3rd place driver, Dave Cassidy, here in the number 13 car. Electing to stay out. Dave, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, great race so far, holding on to P3. Tires are a little old on that car, but how's it handling? What do you got going on for a strategy?
Great race. Not much of a strategy at all. There's no tires in the pits, and everything seems to be good so far. I'm showing that I'm good on fuel, so we'll see what happens.
Getting lined up 2 by 2. Sounds like you got the cell phone sitting in the cup holder. What are you watching there in the inside the race car?
Right now, watching the back of Roma.
100%, but lined up 2 by 2.
To the broadcast.
That's what it sounds like, getting a little insider info, but getting ready to go green flag racing. Good luck, Dave. Hopefully we'll talk to you after the race.
Yeah, thanks. Hopefully.
Cassidy, don't run out of gas.
No.
Dave Cassidy in the number 13 car, restarting P3. You heard him. He's got a windshield full of the 83 car. The pit road has the pace car down there. And how about that jump from Roma? He gets what he needs. He gets up in front of Rational Richard Drake in the 141 Laker News ride. He is single file, and it's side by side for second. The 111 on the outside. Dave Cassidy in the 13 down on the inside for third.
Spank job. I think I got a new idea for a t-shirt as we see one of our top 5 wash up. 3 wide coming through. We'll hold off on that idea.
Like 8 wide.
For now. We'll hold on to that idea just for yet as We do have a merch store here at Verdane TV. You want to check out some of those merch options, head on to verdanetv.net and check out the store. I'm liking the, I believe that, is that McGruff, the 20? That is Justin McGruff. I'm
Chicago, Illinois, 60652.
Yeah, Todd Cousins. Those colors on Todd Cousins and McDuff. I'm digging those flat grays and kind of browns. It's almost like Desert Storm, little military kind of style.
With that blaze orange to just kind of make it pop a little bit. You got the red and orange with the spot. That's a good combo. I'm digging that. I like that.
Yeah, and we've seen so many different variations and paint schemes over the last 70 years. That seems to be starting to become a trend. I think these desert colors. I'm kind of digging those flat grays and stuff.
And there you see the 88 with that shiny chrome blue number. That is just an awesome combination. Beautiful paint schemes here in the RBR Maritime group with these super late models. And it's so cool to be able to kind of combine different paint schemes, different ideas, different sponsors. We just got wrapped up with the championship race here on Verdane TV last Wednesday of the Loose Lug Cup Series. And those guys started off the season basically running NASCAR Cup Series paint schemes and sponsors. And as the season went on here at Verdane TV, they picked up some real-life sponsors and were able to kind of shift up the paint schemes just a little bit. And that's one of the things you can do here in the sim racing community and in iRacing. And there's so many different ways to get your brand out there. One of the brand loyal fan bases here in NASCAR and auto racing, especially sim racing, because we support those that support us, our hobbies here, and we like to do a little TV action, a little commentary action as Duncan gets down on the inside of that 20 car. He's got fresher tires on that 97 car. Don't forget, he came down as the leader and got 4 fresh tires, a little bit of Sunoco race fuel, and he's marching his way back up to the top 10, holding on to the 10th spot right now as he tries to get around that 20 car, McDuff.
Yeah, lots of activity throughout this field. Some hard chargers here this evening. Todd Cousins, one of the top 17 spots picking up on this one since the beginning of this one. Bill Martin as well picking up 16 spots so far. One driver we haven't talked about a lot of recent in the last 18 laps is Ashton Tucker. He is now parked for the evening, down 19 laps as we get to that 66 lap mark. So lots of green flag action here as we get things going here in the second half of the showcase.
You can see another driver with big time damage. It's the 78 of Johnny Fitzpatrick, back in the 22nd position, lost 18 spots from where he qualified, still soldiering on here on lap number 67, holding off Danny Vitch, who's got some damage on the front end of that race car as well. The 93 back there of Scott Negus as well. Norman Hamilton and Aaron Head back there racing for those positions. And back up front, though, still Chris Roma in the 83 car holding off the Rational Richard Drake in the 141. Dave Cassidy still holding on to P3. Those 3 drivers still on the original set of tires that they started this race with. And you might start to see them fade just a little bit. As I say that, you can see the gap here on lap number 69. Nice, the 4-car breakaway. About 3 seconds on back to the 5th place, the 57 car of Gianni Byron.
Well, Rodney Duncan has a bit of traffic to contend with here, but last lap, just to show you the difference in tire wear and stuff, Chris Roma threw down an 18.51 last lap, and Riley Duncan throwing down an 18.63. So, 1/10 of a second in the difference. Old tires still showing positivity right now as we get close to that halfway mark. 71 completed. Halfway mark coming up in just a couple laps.
Little side-by-side action between Cousins and the 88 car of Tufts, holding on to it. Little sideways action, little bumper car up into the wall. Riley Duncan in the 97 car is there. Tanton Woolridge in the 56 car. I haven't mentioned his name too many times here tonight. He's up in the top 10, holding on to the 9th spot and looking rather sporty, trying to get around the 2 cars in front of him. That's going to be Todd Cousins up on the I side and the 88 of Tufts down on the bottom side. And these guys are back and forth and side by side, weaving back and forth and doing it nice, doing it clean, having a little bit of respect, having a lot of respect. I'm actually very impressed with the amount of respect that these drivers are showing each other and the racetrack and the race cars all the way around here as we work lap number 73 here at Nashville Fairgrounds.
As we take a peek at Fougere and Cousins battling out for that position. That is for P10. Cousins to the outside, Fougere to the bottom, trying to pinch him here. McGruff trying to get something to go in there in the 11th spot. Trying to pick one up on Fougere here.
Riding on board now with Rational Richard Drake in the 141 car. You can see he's got that windshield full of Chris Roma in that 83 car, trying to kind of follow along in his tire track, see what he's doing, see where he's fast, see where he's slow, seeing where he can get around him, if that high line's going to work, if he's got to stay down on that yellow line all the way around the racetrack. But you can see car handling very, very smooth. You can see just a little bit of a wiggle wobble there in the corners. Very bumpy racetrack here in turns 1 and 2, but doing a great job holding onto the race car, trying to make a little magic happen at the Laker News number 141 for Rational Richard Drake.
Oh, we always love a little magic from Rash. The Rash man not going down pit road as well, so his strategy is long run here. As we take a peek at the 141, putting a bit of pressure on the back bumper of the 83 of Chris Roma. Our second pack, Dave Cassidy, we were talking about him earlier on and talked to him just briefly on that caution. Wade Craswell battling for that P3 position. Then back then, it's going to be Bill Martin and Brian Hacker way back there. So a bit of a distance between our top 4 and the rest of the field.
Little black and orange action for the number 111, or the 11 on your screen there, of Brian Hacker, having a solid run up 8 spots from where he qualified, running in the top 5, and the car looking mighty clean. John Byron right in behind him in the 57 car, up on the high side, trying to make it work, trying to hold off the 88 car of Caden Tufts, who is hard charging. He's got Tanton Wooldridge and Riley Duncan in behind him, both with fresher tires, and a little bit further on back is that 36 car of Noel Fougere rounding out the top 10. But how about this side-by-side battle now for the 6th position between the 88 of Tufts and the 57 of John Byron up high?
Yeah, Tufts going to try to get up front. He was one of those cars that went down pit road with our leader, Riley Duncan. Duncan moving into that 9th position. Tanton Woolridge picking up 1, moving to the 7th. Caden Tufts in that 6th spot, trying to make up a run here, but big gap between them and the leaders. And looking at the lap times here, Paul, I mean, basically it's pretty much fair right across as we see Todd Cousins go for a ride here. That's probably going to bring out the cautions. We see that second car get collected. There's that beauty paint job that we were talking about earlier on Cousins too. So 6 caution in the afternoon. It's going to bring in our good friend Junior.
Almost give Todd Cousins a fist bump from where that camera was set up there, but we'll pull up the U-Haus Racing Designs instant replay. Focusing on that 2 car. You see scrapes the wall just a little bit, gets into the corner, not so nice, gets a little bit of a touchy touch there from the 24 of Christensen, sends him on around, and there's a little bit of a T-bone action there from a black and red car. Didn't catch the number on that, but you can see Cousins grabs the gear, gets the thing spun around. Look at all the rubber buildup on the track surface up by the wall. That's going to affect the handling of these late models as well. And you can see the 2 car of Cousins gets down and away before the leaders were able to get around him. So going to be able to restart on the lead lap, but going to be way back in the field. Scored P26 as of the 27 starters of this race. All but 1 still in the field, all but 1 still on the lead lap. Ashton Tucker in the 2 car, the only driver to retire from tonight's JPB Construction number, check that, JPB Construction 150, as Ashton Tucker in the 2 car involved in an earlier incident, and the 57 of John Byron just coming off a pit road, so he's going to try and get a little damage repair, a little tire action there. Look at the damage on the 29 car of Danny Vitch. Somebody crinkled that Mountain Dew can up on the front. Lots of damage there. The Major Melon, number 29. Nicholas Mott going to come down. Todd Cousins going to come down as well. So there's a couple of cars that have definitely seen better days. But for the most part here, Mikey, we're pretty clean, pretty respectable racing.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the field and pretty much everybody on that lead lap except for Ashton Tucker. A couple takers there. Nicholas Mott was down just there on pit road, as well as Johnny Byron. But Aiden Christensen also taking a shot at it there. Todd Cousins finding himself now in 25th, man. That's really upsetting. Todd Cousins was on a hard charge here tonight, picking up 16 spots, and now finding himself all the way to the tail to reset and go back to work again. So hard luck for the two of Todd Cousins, doing a great job here this afternoon. But right through this field since the beginning of this one, like I said, when you see a Johnny Fitzpatrick in the 18th position, you got a great race here, because there's some big names here. Brett Suggs finding himself in the 11th position. That's a guy that usually is out front. So great class of drivers here to start the season off for RBR. It is race number 1. We're here live in Nashville if you're just tuning in. A beautiful evening here for the RBR series as we get set to go. Pace cars now exit the 83 of Chris Roma, who's dominated most of this one here. We'll have Rational Richard trying to time it, but he'll fall asleep just a little bit as we get back to the green flag racing, and Roma's going to control this one. Rash is going to fall into place in number 2. Cassidy trying to control P3, but it looks like Bill Martin, who is the hard charger of the evening, Paul, 17 spots since the beginning of this one. Martin doing a great job in the orange and blue colors. Nice paint ski there on the 39 in the P3.
Having a quiet run in the 39, having a phenomenal run there in the 39 for Dr. Noise in the 39 car. Running up in the top 3 now, and you made mention 17 spots gained on the night, so that is no hard no slouch there for sure here in the super late models. Breaking away just a little bit. Brian Hacker now on the outside of Dave Cassidy. Cassidy slipping a bit in that 13 car. Down on the inside, stuck on the inside, which is something we don't usually see, or say rather, but that high side really seems to start coming in as the rubber starts to build up on the higher side of the racetrack.
We're seeing quite a few takers there at the beginning. Just some of them were able to make it work in the midline. We've seen some activity on the outside, some passing and stuff, but it's looking like that mid groove is coming into shape here as we see more drivers challenging the outside here instead of crossing to the bottom and trying to pinch down. But great activity here. So lots of 2 wide activity as we take a peek. Aiden Christian and Danny Vitch going at it at the back. Suggs going to go at it with Noel Fougere. So some battles throughout the track here. Lots of activity left in this one here in Nashville. Like I said, if you were just tuning in, Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. from Connecticut from the Bedane TV studio, and Mike James here, myself from Newfoundland Labrador from Eastbound International, calling the live action here for the RBR series. Dude, it's just a wild night. It's been great to see right from start to finish. A couple of cautions in here, but no big ones here just yet. I have a funny feeling, Paul, we may see some nastiness come out of this one in the final 20.
Yeah, some phenomenal racing here in the 94 laps that we've had here in the feature event, the JPB, I don't know why I keep struggling with that. The JPB Construction 150. JPB Construction jumping on board as a longtime sponsor of the RBR Maritime Group. And we've seen some phenomenal racing, not only in the feature, but in the heat races and the consolation races as well. And these drivers know that this is a stacked field. 27 cars making the final cut. Ashton Tucker, the only driver to retire. Nicholas Mott in the 52 car now finds himself a lap down. But there are still 25 drivers on the lead lap here at Nashville with 54 laps to go. Mikey, what that tells me, there's still 25 drivers that can come home with a victory here.
Wow, we've been talking all evening about the raw talent that's in this one. Like when you have Aiden Christensen for another one in 19th position, Johnny Fitzpatrick now in 16th, Travis Roma, so many big dogs in the back of the field here that anything with a pit stop strategy here, trying to make it last here on fuel, you can see a big shake-up here. Still quite a few drivers. Our leaders have not reported to pit road just yet. Just going through the field here, Chris Roman, Rational Richard, Wade Craswell, Dave Cassidy, AJ Hamill, as well as Todd Cousins, still not reporting to pit road. So there it is on the screen. Strategy-wise, 97 laps on those Goodyears, and we're starting to see a little bit of fallout. Looking at the lap times here, they're pretty tight, but we're seeing our leaders fall off by about 1/10 of a second here.
Taking a look now at the Bedane TV scoring tower on the left-hand side of your screen. Those numbers to the right of the names are the lap times last time by when they crossed the stripe. Here on lap 100, 18.6 for the top 3, top 4, top 6 drivers or so, and then it starts to slide on back into the 7s and 8s and 9s. You compare that to the best time, about a half a second slower than when these drivers had newer tires, but 100 laps on the tires here, Mike, and we're still down and away. Roma and Drake holding off the hard-charging number 39 of Bill Martin. 17 spots gained on the night so far in that 39 car, and he's in the catbird seat right now. He's right on the back bumper of the 141. He's got a little bit fresher tires, and he's going to school right now. He's trying to see where these guys are slower, where he's faster, where he can kind of get around on the outside, down to the bottom, trying to see what he can do to get up towards the front and better that third position.
Well, they're clicking off some laps here as we enter the 2/3 mark here. 102 laps completed. These guys are going to record some laps here and try not to upset too much and use up, especially with our top 2 cars, Rachel Richard and Chris Roma, trying to conserve fuel, probably flicking and switching under cautions and conserve as much fuel as possible if they're going to go the distance. We've seen quite a few races here at Bedane TV go the distance. One in particular I'll talk about from the Maritimes, and Mike Alexander has really been the nature boy of going the distance on some of these races. But we've also seen some of these drivers have an amazing race on 150 and come up short on lap 149 and run out of fuel. So strategy, calculations, crew chiefs on some of these guys. Some of these guys have a crew chief and a spotter, so I'm sure people are starting to calculate here now if they can actually go the distance.
And oh, by the way, you got to keep track of a potential for a green-white checkered finish. So you got to add that couple of extra laps of fuel in here. A little bit better than a half mile, 0.6 of a mile here at Nashville. But there you can see Brett Suggs all over the back bumper now of the 97 of Riley Duncan. And these drivers battling for the 6th position. And you can just see Roma, Drake, Martin, Wooldridge, Tufts, Duncan, Suggs, Hacker, Fougere, Cassidy, the top 10. And just looking at the names all the way through, there you see Tully outside the top 10 in 11th, McDuff in the 20 car having a great run in 12th. Murphy's back there, Roma down, Fitzpatrick moving his way back up to 16th. Back up to 16th for Fitzpatrick. That's not something we usually say here on Bedane TV, but really, we've said it a couple of times here, Mike, who's who of sim racing here in the East Coast of America and the Maritimes of Canada. There's a lot of big names, a lot of talented drivers here, and it's going to bring out the caution flag, number 7 here. See if we can pull out what exactly brought out that caution flag here. It looks like there's a little bit of damage on the air and head machine of the number 66, but this is going to be an opportunity to pull up the old U-House Racing Designs instant replay.
And to bring in our good friend Junior.
And it'll bring me back in.
That was some caution. No takers just yet, Paul, as you rewind the film here. No takers yet for pit road, so here we go.
Yeah, not seeing what happened on track. We're going to back it up.
Oh, here we go. Cassidy and Murphy down pit road. Bit of activity here.
Not seeing the incident that brought out the caution on the tapes, so rather than look for something that I can't find, we're going to take a look at that action down on pit road. There you see Dave Cassidy in the 13 car. Talked to him a little bit earlier. Going to give up a good spot there. He's going to come down pit road, as is Conrad Murphy. Saw him involved in a little bit of an incident there in the 89 car, but 40 laps to go. Story so far, Roma and Drake staying out on those tires. 110 laps on that set of tires, 40 laps to go in the race. Is that the move to make?
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll let you know in 41 laps.
And when we're doing it, we're going to be drinking Busch. Todd Cousins down pit road, finally reporting to pit road. That's going to slide him back. He didn't want to report earlier on and try to come back up through the field. He did pick up 16 spots at the early parts of this one, but that's going to slide him back into the 26th position down pit road for the first time here this evening. A couple of takers taking quite a few spots. Stops down pit road. Conrad Murphy 3 times down pit road. Mark Williams down twice. Johnny Fitzpatrick down twice. Tanton Woolridge in the top 4. Been down pit road twice here this evening. So Woolridge, probably the most unique strategy here this afternoon. He's going to be on the inside of row number 2. So keep an eye on that 56, who's had quite a few wins under his belt for a young gun. Young Bandolero driver, if you're just tuning in, we talked about him earlier, from Prince Edward Island. Some raw talent from that 56. Loved having him on Winner's Circle and hearing the excitement in the young man's voice and how excited he is here to be a part of the iRacing simulator.
And it's always cool, too, to see drivers that race in real life, that are actually at the real racetracks, jumping on in the sim racing world or the iRacing world, because there's so many different things you can compare that are similar in both the simulator and in real racing. And a lot of times you'll see strategies from the real racetrack in sim racing work and vice versa, and sometimes things that work in real life don't work in the simulator and vice versa. So it's a lot to keep track of, and we try and do our best about keeping track of all the information, but right now all you got to keep track of is it's lap 113. The top 2 drivers still have not pitted. Chris Roma in the 83 holding on to the lead as we ride on board, taking a peek at the back bumper of that Mustang pace car that's going to pull down to the safety of pit road 1 mo. Again, he's going to have Rational Richard Drake in that Laker News 141 outside for the restart, and there it is. Green flag in the air. Roma gets the jump. And that 39 Machina Martin gains 1 more spot, slides into the 2nd spot.
I don't know what happened there with Rash. Just was not tight with the leader there at the start here, and Roma took full advantage and fired away. But 141 on the outside, with 8th caution going to come in, and that's our boy Conrad Murphy. And then nope, that's the 57 Johnny Byron involved with this one. 66 going to get tangled up in. So some tangliness in turn number 3.
These drivers know we're getting down to the nitty-gritty, getting close to the end of this one. Going to take a look here at the U-House Racing Design Instant Replay. You see the 09 up on the outside wall, but focus on the left-hand side of your screen. That's where the action starts. Tully gets upside down and flippy-doopy-doo-doo-doo. It gets a couple of drivers involved there in the mid-pack. I'm going to back that up maybe one more time here and see exactly what went down with that 5 car. You can see big time damage on the right-hand side. We'll back it up one more time. And you can see a little bit of flipping action for the number 5 car. Tully, one of the league administrators here, and taking a peek again, focus in on that white and yellow car, out into the outside wall, on his lid, flips it again, hits the outside wall, comes back down. Driver's trying to avoid. There's Conrad Murphy, gets down and through. How about that? Good clean driving there for the 89 of Conrad Murphy. Gets by... looks like he's still got a little bit of damage in the 89 car, as does Danny Vitch in the 29, but does a great job getting through this one. And Chris Roma's still out front. Bill Martin now, the new 2nd place driver.
Well, that's going to take up a few more laps here. Back-to-back cautions here. 117 completed. We're going to bring it down to 33 laps here in just a moment. Chris Roma taking the launch here, but Bill Martin, the hard charger, the storyboard here this evening here in Nashville, 18 spots since the start of this one. Started in the 20th position. The 39 machine will be finally to the front row on the outside of Martin. Been down pit road about 19 laps ago. So 19 laps on those tires for the 39 and Martin. So we're interested to see the timing here. Now, he hasn't had a chance, but he has been in that 2nd row and watching the strategy of Chris Roma on these starts. Let's see if he has anything for us as we continue to go around under caution here. Lights still on the pace car as we get set. 118 completed. This one's going to be a showdown here in Nashville. First race of the RBR series. Toco Electric as the major sponsor for the season. I know, Paul, you were saying earlier on there are some opportunities for some entitlements on some of these races. So if you're interested, reach out to Craig Tully, who was involved with that last caution. He's now finding himself in the 25th position. He had a great run here this afternoon, but let's see what happens here. Still plenty to go. Lights still on as the officials try to sort this madness out and get everybody into their position. Got to make sure this is correct on this one as we get close to the finale.
I'm going to get the restart with 30 laps to go here in the Season 4 opener, and We made mention a couple of times. Great racing here tonight. If you want to see these guys race here on Vidane TV next Tuesday, got to reach out to Craig Tully, looking for sponsors, looking for someone to get these guys and gals out onto the airwaves. There you see Brett Suggs going a little bit sideways there on the outside line, getting as much heat as he can in those rear tires. But there goes the iRacing Mustang pace car down in the safety of pit road, and we wait for Chris Roma. There he goes. Green flag is flying once again here at Nashville. Gets the start that he needs. He's got the 2039 car of Martin right in behind him. A little side-by-side action. Rational Richard Drake down to the bottom side in third. Tanton Woolridge now up into fourth.
Bill Martin doing a great job as we ride on board Tanton Woolridge. Martin timed that one pretty good, and Roma didn't get away with a lot of real estate on that. Just a little bit, about 0.2 of a second of the difference there. But Martin looking sharp on that restart, but the rest of the field, single file, little battle there about the mid-pack. That's, I believe, Fougere and Justin McGruff, and quite a few of them now side by side in the mid-pack.
Side-by-side racing all the way around this racetrack. These drivers know that it's getting down to the closing laps. John Fitzpatrick now breaking into the top 10 in that damaged number 78 car. How about 3 wide? How about 3 wide? How about 3 wide again? Oh my goodness, racing all the way around the racetrack. Johnny Fitzpatrick slides on into ninth. He looks like he's got that thing figured out. The number 78 car, a little Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback, trying to make his way up through the top 10 into the top 5 to see if he can maybe have something for Roma, Martin, and Drake up in the top 3. But right now, still Chris Roma out front. Riley Duncan around, gets spun around and calls for the tow truck. He's down on pit road. Might be done for the evening, crossing the stripe here. Coming around the backstretch, getting into 3 and 4, going to cross the stripe for lap number 125. 25 laps to go here in the JPB Construction 150. Anybody's ball game at this point, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but without a caution, this could be a who has enough fuel here. Bill Martin looking very calm at this point, not applying a lot of pressure to the back of Roma. Just ticking off a few of these laps here, getting into that position of striking on the 83. Chris Roma gliding away here, still putting down some fancy lap times here. 18:41 last lap, so fairly quick for Chris Roma, who's never been down pit road, our leader. Rational Richard Drake throwing down an 8:43 as well last lap. So these guys that have not reported have made these 4 Goodyears last the entire distance here. So not falling off in the lap times here in Nashville on those tires. So tires have not played a factor. The question here, Paul, is do they have enough fuel?
Solid maybe. We'll let you know in 24 laps.
Maybe.
Getting their money's worth. Getting their money's worth out of those tires, though. Those top 3 drivers, Chris Roma, Martin, and Drake, and a lot of the drivers in the top 10 been out there on 60 to 80 laps or so on those tires as well. So definitely holding up here with that tire compound. A little bit of mishap. Mark Williams in the 42 finds himself upside down. He's on his side.
Nice.
That's I don't know about that. Caution flag flies.
What would you call that in skateboarding terms?
I think that's a kickflip 9000. I don't know. I'm too fat for a skateboard. I have no idea.
It's been so long.
Yeah, I don't know. But we'll take a peek here and find out what exactly got Mark Williams in the 42 car in that precarious situation in the 42. We'll take a look at the U-House Racing Design instant replay. Kind of following in here behind Roger Down in the 21 car, and there you see Down getting up into the outside wall. 42 tries to avoid him, gets contact. Ooh, Danevich with a little T-bone action, flips around on his hood, or on his lid. How about that landing? That is,
It's Picasso.
What would you call that? That is definitely
Picasso.
a skateboard trip.
Definitely Picasso.
The Picasso kickflip. That's what we'll call it.
Ollie.
So 20 laps to go here at Nashville. Chris Roma still out front. Bill Martin, 18 spots gained. The hard charger of the night running in second. Rational Richard Drake running in third with Tanton Woolridge and Caden Tufts in the top 5. Brian Hacker, Brett Suggs, Noel Fougere, Jean Fitzpatrick, and Travis Roma, the top 10 24 drivers on the lead lap now. With Mark Williams has his issues there in the 42 car. Roger Down, the only driver coming down pit lane here in the number 21 to get some service on his machine with less than 20 laps to go. And I think these guys up front, they're gonna send it. They're gonna hold on to those old tires and hope that it works.
Paul, you talk about how close the sim is to real life racing. We've been in situations where we've had drivers go to distance on fuel, and in real life, I don't know if it was the Daytona 500 where they told the driver they had a special reserve of fuel, turning on and off the vehicles under caution, trying to conserve as much fuel as possible. We've seen that quite a few times, actually, for some of these drivers going to distance, conserving here under caution. I'm just wondering if Chris Roma is turning on and off that car, trying to conserve as much as he can here.
Oh, you can bet he is, as are the rest of the drivers up in the top 10 that have been out on track for most of this one. They know that if they're going to make the magic happen with a field this stacked each and every week for the next 6 weeks in the RBR Maritime Season 4, the six-pack challenge here, they know they're going to have to take advantage of every little possibility that they can, whether it's tire wear, whether it's fuel mileage, whether it's track position. They need everything to get up into the victory circle here, victory lane, and restart once again with 18 to go, 17 as we cross the stripe. Woo! 83 didn't go. What? Something happened there on the start. Rational Richard Drake's around. The field gets stacked up. Big time parking lot on the front stretch. Lots of damaged cars around. And oh, by the way, new leader, the 39 of Bill Martin. Oh, but that restart, we're going to have to take a peek at that one.
I did say that we were going to have a big stink up between the final 20 laps, but I didn't think it was going to be as big as that one. That's just pure nastiness. Take us through in slow motion, Junior.
We can do that. There's the start, the restart there, and we're going to focus in on a little slow-mo action heading on down to turn number 1. And we're going to have to take a peek. Bill Martin gets down and around.
It seemed Chris Roma didn't fire.
Yeah, it's almost, that car just didn't seem to go. But there you can see the calamity just heading into turn number 1 with the racing grooves just completely blocked out. And everybody getting a little piece of that.
With this one.
Yeah, we might have a little bit of an extended caution here. Let's see if we can take a look at Chris Roma from the inside of that restart. So here's the start. That car didn't go into gear. That is odd. That is very odd. If you listen into the RPMs, he sounds like he's in about second gear. There you can see the pace car.
Crank it up.
Crank it up. That car didn't want to go into third gear. You can hear him struggling, and it just doesn't get in there. It almost sounds like he slipped into fourth gear at that point. It almost sounds like he's out of gas, if I'm being honest. I don't know. That's odd. That's very odd. But still out on track. The 83 sliding back just a little bit. Now in the 12th position after restarting from the lead. So that is a tough break for the 83 car. And getting sent to the back. Might have taken a tap rule on that one.
Well, there is the reset on this one. This has been a big shaker here. Bill Martin has been the dominant force in this one. 19 position. Finds himself now as the leader. Really upsetting to see Chris Roma not be able to take the distance. Taking his first major win in 2022 within the last month. So, unfortunately for him, he's going to slide back into that position. Real back now is he's now in the 24th position. So big upset for the 83 machine of Chris Roma.
Dominating car all night long, and this is going to be interesting because now we've got Bill Martin in the 39 car very fast all night long. Has gained 19 spots. No more bets. Betting is closed. Dan Woldridge out on the outside. Brian Hacker running in third. Noel Fougier in fourth, and Brett Suggs in fifth. And going to get the restart here with 11 laps to go. Everybody lined up. A little bit of a jumbled up.
7.
Everything on. We don't have a 7.
No. I like
everything on 33.
Throw the dice.
Throw the dice.
I don't know, dude. Man, Bill Martin is going to have a lot of clean air here. Tam Wolver's going to try to time it to the outside. Martin is the one to watch here. Like I said, hard charger. 19 spots since the beginning. This is the one to beat here. Keep an eye on that 39. Man, what an awesome job he has done. And throwing down some pretty sick lap times here throughout the evening. But as we get going here, great launch from the 39 as a bit of a battle for P3. Fougere to the outside, and that's going to be Brian Hacker. 10 spots for Hacker since the beginning of this one. That is another car to watch out here as we take a peek at the 11 of Brian Hacker. Man on the move. He's going to follow himself into podium P3 position right now.
He's got a couple of teammates in behind him with the 33 and the 88. Brett Suggs in the 33 making his way back up towards the front. Taylor Layton finding himself in the wrong spot at the wrong time in the 27 car. Off track, spun around, we stay green, but it's still side by side between the 11 of Hacker and Fougere in the 36. Brett Suggs is there, 9 laps to go. Aiden Christensen is in the 24 car a little bit further on back. Caden Tufts holding on to the 6th spot right there as well in that 88 car. Travis Roma is there. John Byron is there. All these drivers know that there's less than 10 laps to go, and they are all chasing down the leader, Bill Martin, and the closest one to him is going to be the young Tanton Woolridge in that 56 car, all over the back bumper of that number 39 car, trying to get up to that top spot, trying to better his position a second to see if he can come home with the very first win of the season. Going to take a peek down low here, Mikey.
Hang on to it. Tanton Woolridge to the bottom, tried to get to the quarter, but Bill Martin will pull ahead and maintain the lead here as we get close to the final couple of laps here. Get out of your seats and stay tuned to this one. This is going to be a wild finish here. A battle, 1-2, just about an eighth of a second in the difference between the two. Woolridge already testing the bottom. Will he test the outside here as we get close to that fistful of 5? Hacker holding back Suggs and Fougere. A little battle for P3. A Hacker trying to get to join the leaders here. Could we see the bump and run? 5 to go here in Nashville. The kickoff for the RBR season. What a finish to this one here as we had the upset from Chris Roman just earlier on in the last caution. But this is all Bill Martin right now as we ticking him off here. 4 to go.
4 laps to go. A little bit of an off-track incident with the 27 of Taylor Layton, and check that, the 20 of Justin McDuff finding himself in the wrong spot at the wrong time, but we stay green here with 4 laps to go. Check that, crossing the stripe. 3 laps to go for Bill Martin, trying to hold on, trying to get that 39 car into victory lane. He's gained 19 spots on the night from where he started here in the feature. The JPB Construction 150, and you can see back into the back of the pack, cars down and around, caution, flag flies. Look at all those damaged race cars.
Green, white, checkered coming at you. Little overtime. Bill Martin not happy, I'm sure, with the caution coming out here with the white rag getting close to coming out, but we're going to take it back in time here with our good friend Junior and take a peek at what happened.
A Uhasa Racing Design instant replay incident happening up front there. You can see getting pointed in the wrong direction, splitting the C's just a little bit. Craig Tully gets a piece of it in that 5 car. Everybody else parts the C's and gets down and around. But like you said, Mikey, green, white, checkered. This is going to be super interesting. Bill Martin has had a great restarts all evening long, and he's going to have to restart from the inside of row number 1. Tanton Woolridge going to be in the 2nd spot on the outside. Brian Hacker is there. Brett Suggs is there. Noel Fougere, Caden Tufts, Travis Roma, Aiden Christensen, John Byron, and John Fitzpatrick, the top 10. Who's who in sim racing in this one? 3 laps to go. Green, white, checkered. Who's coming home with the victory?
Whoop, whoop. Well, let's just look at the chemistry, the physics, whatever you want to call it, on this one. Row number 2, Hacker was down by a full second on our leaders. Suggs had that wall with that battle with Fougere and Hacker and really lost a lot of momentum. This is an advantage right now for Brett Suggs, who's picked up 15 spots since the beginning. He always tends to be here in row number 2 or on the outside of row number 1 here in the finish here. We've seen so often Suggs surge at the final exit of the race to find himself in a position to take the win. Will he have something for us on the outside? It's going to be all up to Tanton Woolridge, who's going to be in front of him. Woolridge has already seen 1 or 2 restarts now with Bill Martin. timing is going to be everything. We've seen a misshift there with Chris Roma earlier on. I believe that was the cause that we've seen. We'll talk to maybe with Roma a little bit later, but as of right now, it looked like a misshift. Will we see that again here on the 11th caution? Overtime coming at you. Green, white, checkered, folks. If you're tuning in, this one's going to be a dandy one here. Get the season kicked off here for the RBR series. Man, what a wild night this is going to be. There's so often you see someone lead 130 laps, you think that's just going to be an easy way, conclusion to the race, and then all of a sudden someone throws a wrench into it.
Still 23 cars on the lead lap in this one. 25 of the 27 starters here in the main event still on track. Riley Duncan, Ashton Tucker parked in the garage area. Dunskies for the evening. Bill Martin up front, Tanton Wooldridge, Brian Hacker, Brett Suggs, Noel Fougier, the top 5, lining them up 2 by 2 all the way through. Little green-white checkered action. Lights are off in the iRacing Mustang pace car, and I am sweating. My feet are sweaty, and it's not just because these brand new fleece-lined Crocs. I am that guy now. They are super, super comfortable. I'm just throwing that out there. But here we go. Gonna get the restart. Green, white, checkered. Stay focused. Lots of action still to go.
Locked and loaded. Kick the tires, light the fires. Here we go. Bill Martin on the launch here. He has the hammer.
Green flag. Into the danger zone, the 39, up on the high side, making that turn as wide as he can. He's pulling away just a little bit as they're side by side now for second.
White rag going to come on as he enters 3 and 4. It's all Bill Martin here in Nashville to kick the season off.
Yellow.
Lots of damage and a caution comes out. We are going to go into overtime again. Martin just pissed, just only a half track away from taking this one, but there's going to be a caution here. Man, what an upset for Bill Martin. He's going to have another crack at a restart.
Whew, how about the wreckage between the
Someone
52 and the 2? Definitely hit the button for sure. And taking a peek here, U-House Racing Designs, out of shape as a 2 car, tries to come back down, gets a little bit of tully, and finds the outside wall, comes back down. Ooh, slaps that 27, I believe it is. Gets him lined up. That's a grind. He grinds the thing there, the skateboard over the top of the thing. I don't know. You can't really skateboard with race cars, but green, white, checkered once again.
Goofy foot.
Goofy foot.
You don't know what a goofy foot is?
I have no idea what a goofy foot is.
Well, you don't look like a skater, so.
I am definitely not built for skating, no. Dr. Noise up in the front.
Skateboarding. No.
Yeah, I'll wrestle with a skateboarder.
I got in a riot with a skateboard and a rugby team. I was the head bouncer for a club one night. It was pretty nasty.
I got to do a little security work for Northeast Wrestling. That was kind of fun.
Overtime here for the RBR series. If you're just tuning in, what a race you have missed so far, but stay with us here. Green, white, checkered. It's going to be a wild finish here. Bill Martin twice now almost had it in his sights for the win, the official win here. I'm not quite familiar with the 39 Bill Martin. I believe this may be the first race I've called with Bill. I don't know if you got any stats or any history on the 39.
I honestly do not. We'll see what we got in the system here. Hometown, Madison, Wisconsin. There you see Bill Martin.
He's a ringer.
He's a ringer. Short track ringer here for the RBR Maritime Group, and having a phenomenal run here tonight at Nashville. He's up 19 spots from where he qualified. He's had this thing in the bag on the last 2 restarts, and we get these green, white, checkered attempts, and we gotta be focusing in on that fuel gauge. I believe those 2 drivers that were close on fuel might have slipped on back just a little bit. They may have even come down pit road down at this point. But once we cross the stripe this time by, those lights on the iRacing Mustang pace car should be turning off. We should be getting ready to do battle once again. And there you see it, Dr. Noise and the number 39 car holding on to the bottom side. The young Tanton Wooldridge up on the outside in the 56. Hacker, Suggs, and Fougier the top 5. Tufts, Roma, Christensen, Fitzpatrick, and Byron the top 10. We've said the term many times over the past hour or so that we've been on the air. Who's who in sim racing. You can go all the way through this field and find speed in the last names and the numbers of these drivers. And there you see it, the 33 car, Brett Suggs, fast wherever he goes. And he is on the outside of row number 2. He's got Hacker on the inside. There's some big names up there in the top 10 all the way throughout this field, and it's still anybody's race. We've got 22 cars on the lead lap, last one being Todd Cousins in that 2 car. That pace car's going down there. One more again. He's going to take the safety at pit road. Green flag is flying. Dr. Noise hammer down. The 39 car gets the jump he needs. Green flag is in the air. 2 laps to go.
Woolridge kind of fell asleep, but opened the door for Brian Hacker now, taking over that P2. It's going to be white rag for the 39 of Bill Martin as he comes around 3 and 4, heading to the start-finish line. 4 more corners for Martin. Can he get it done? Will this be the conclusion? It's going to stay green. No more overtime as he heads down the pit road. Hacker off by about a third of a second. This is going to be going to the 39 here as long as everything concludes under pressure here for the 39 as he comes to the start-finish line. It is the 39 of Bill Martin here tonight. A lot of upset pro line, maybe wagers lost here tonight. I don't know if anybody had their bet on the 39, but he has made a day of it here, picking up 19 spots, taking a win. Brian Hacker, another one I'm not familiar with, finding himself a podium finish, picking up 11 spots since the beginning of this one, Paul. He's taking that second spot. Tam Woolridge doing a great job, the young gun for Prince Edward Island, get a huge podium here. Brett Suggs completing your top 4. Wade Craswell in the 5th position. Or Noel Fouchier.
Noel Fougier finishing 5th. Caden Tufts, Aiden Christensen, Travis Roman, John Byron, and John Fitzpatrick rounding out the top 10. You can see the finishing order there on your screen. We're going to try and hook up with these top 3 drivers, Martin, Hacker, and Woolridge, to see if we can get a little bit of an interview.
Picture of Bill Martin.
Yeah,
he kind of looks like a cheesehead.
I don't know what a cheesehead looks like, but sure, we'll make that work.
Packers.
See if we can take a look here. I believe we've got Brian Hacker. We should be able to get him up in here. Actually, I think it looks like you've caught up with the 3rd place finisher, Tan Woolridge.
Hey, Tan, what's going on, brother? From Prince Edward Island, another big finish here to kick things off here for the season for RBR. 3rd spot. You had a shot there on the outside of road number 1. Take us through your evening and your strategy with pit road here. You took two stops here tonight.
Yeah, it was a good run for the Brett Suggs Racing crew. We tried to beat them on strategy. I think that the 11 and the 39 actually got us on that part. So no, we tried to do an undercut. I was fairly confident that we weren't going to be able to make it to the full distance on what we had in the car to start. So me and Caden, we went down early. We went down as soon as we could when I thought that we would have enough to make it. And that way, when everybody else would have to pit, there'd be no advantage since there was no tires in the pits to grab. So I thought that we were going to kind of cycle out in front of them and then have track position. So that didn't quite work out, but I know some guys followed us, so we still were able to get somewhat of an advantage. And like I said, really good night and good show for the sponsors.
They say the 2nd and 3rd is the 3rd place. Not a bad position here, especially with the points coming into the RBR. What are you expecting here coming into the season with 6 races on the board? Do you think you got a shot at the championship?
You know what? I think we do, but I think everybody does. It's a stacked field, and you got to show up every single week to have a shot at it. So there's lots of good guys in here, and I know with the TCM races and the RBR races, they're somewhat similar. Sometimes not the same cars and tracks, but they're 2 very competitive leagues and a lot of similar guys. And I know we've had some really good momentum with the win at Hickory, and we've had quite a few top 5s and top 10s for that matter in the TCM side. So we have some good momentum, and this is a good start. So hopefully we can just keep it rolling and try and get another good finish next week.
Well, congratulations from all of us up here in the booth, man. Tanton, we'll look forward to seeing you in week number 2. Who do you got to thank for your big podium finish?
Yeah, a big thank you to McKinnon Brothers Service Center. They sponsor me in the real life, and they've already come on board next year. So thank you to them and Tim Myers Excavating, Cowie's Equipment Limited, Pinos Fuels, Masson Eyewear, Good Guys Auto Glass, Harrington Hilton, All Weather Tire Self Storage Units, and Annie's Tire. as well. Big thank you to O1 Motorsports and all they do, Matt Watson, Gerald Glenn as well, and the BSR Racing's crew. So Brett Suggs Racing and Marketing.
Well, that's Tampa Woolridge, Island Boy from Prince Edward Island. Great job, brother. Look forward to catching up with you next week. Paul, you got yourself a Brian Hacker here.
That I do. Going to catch up with the second place driver, Brian Hacker, the 11 car. Great showing all night long. Coming home in second place here tonight at Nashville, the season opener for the RBR 6-pack challenge. We've coined it here, and pretty good points night here tonight, and a pretty good finish here tonight as well. Talk to us. Brian Hacker, you got a copy? Arco.
Polo.
You're not Brian. We'll see if Brian can get his equipment sorted out. Might be kinked the cable here. So we'll slide on down to Victory Lane, I guess. We'll do that. The Cowboy coming home, Dr. Noise, Bill Martin, 19 spots gained to finish up front in this who's who of sim racing here. Bill Martin, talk to us, man. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. I very rarely open Discord, so it's always a mystery when I do. Yeah, the race went well. I didn't realize when I was looking at the list, this is a new league to me, obviously, that the times were written in Atlantic. So I showed up to start practice when qualifying was over. So I had to do some extra work, but it worked out. I'm pretty happy. This car, I was going to change the scheme because this is a alternative scheme on the car, and every time I've ever driven this scheme, I crash. So I wanted to switch it, but it worked out. Finally, the bad luck has ended.
Yeah, 100% coming home tonight with the victory. And, man, you drove through this field like everybody was standing still. And Mikey and I up here in the booth have kind of spent the entire night just going through the field. There's a lot of big names, a lot of fast drivers. And you came out on top here, and you made mention, new to the league, new to RBR, new to ATV as well. Where does Bill Martin come from? You got to give us a little bit of a background here. Sim racing, real racing. What goes on in the world of Bill Martin?
Jeez.
Good Lord. You guys started using that driver info thing for the thing, so you know how old I am. So that's disappointing. I started sim racing in 1992.
Whoa.
And
Holy moly.
I started real racing in 2010 in Lacrosse Fairground Speedway. And then I stopped doing that around 2016, 2017. I switched to a vintage class, driving an old Matador for funsies with a bunch of old guys and then me. I mean, I feel old in the sim world now because there's a lot of young guys that are joining in, just like I did in the freaking 90s. but
Dr. Noise, ladies and gentlemen.
I got into the vintage class, and suddenly I was 20 years younger than almost the whole field. Like, this is sweet. I feel so alive. Anyways, but then I went back to sim racing, and I mean, I never stopped, but yeah, from Madison, Wisconsin. How you guys doing? My name's Bill.
I'm Mike.
Oh, hey, Mike.
And I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Junior.
Junior.
Paul Jr.
That's right. Hanging out here in Victory Lane, and man, just a phenomenal run that we've seen here tonight, coming home with the victory here in Nashville. Obviously, racing for points, having yourself a good points night here tonight, and interesting paint scheme. You got to talk to us about the paint scheme. You got to give us a list of sponsors and who makes it happen for that Virtual 39 team.
Well, normally on a normal night, I drive a red, black, and blue, which is sort of a duplicate of the real car that I had ran, but it was red, white, and blue because it was Matador. But I switched to the middle to black. I'm usually sponsored by a Native American Rights Fund. It's more of awareness for a charity. But on the alternative side, I will run Bell's cars, like you see here, which is the Oberon car. I run those because I discovered that I like their products. And then I just pretend that they send me money, but they don't. Don't tell anyone, though.
100%. And we may mention a couple of times here, brand loyal racing fans, especially the sim racing fans as well, because we like to support those that support us. And lots of sponsorship opportunities over the next couple of weeks here to try and get RBR out on the airwaves and see if we can get Bill Martin out to win himself another race or six-pack challenge coming up here. And Bill, you've already come home with the victory here, and great looking car, great looking sponsors. Got to give you one more shot at the microphone. Anybody else you want to thank? Friends, family, sponsors. Who else makes it happen for 39?
My wallet when I buy stuff for the sim rig, but thanks to Brian Hacker, who fortunately finished second. He's a friend. We're not teammates by any means, but we race each other all the time. So I always appreciate being a part of a league with him and with McDuff and AJ Hamill too, who exited during the last chance race. But we'll thank him anyways for being AJ. Thanks to Craig for inviting me to this league, and you guys for doing a good job. Who else should I thank? That flagman who is still waving the checkered flag as I look out the side of my car.
He is getting after it. He's letting everybody know that this race is over. And
race
Dr. Noise, Bill Martin, comes home with the victory. And man, great to we don't like using the old word here at Vidane TV, but we will use the experience word. An experienced sim racer, many moons under his belt. Bill Martin comes home with the victory here in the JPB Construction 150, the season opener for season number 4, the six-pack challenge here at RBR. And made mention again, lots of sponsorship opportunities. Get your logo out there. Get these RBR guys out on the airwaves over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and we'll be able to follow this storyline as it develops. But Bill, great race here tonight. Congratulations on the victory.
Thanks, guys, and thanks for the compliments in the least offensive way possible.
100%, brother.
see you guys.
All right, and we'll see if we can.
A bit of a wrestling fan there, Paul. I think you guys are going to get along.
Just a little bit. Dressed up, a little wrestler headband there. Got the sweatbands on the wrist. Yeah, getting after it.
We're gonna have to come up with an intro song for Dr. Noise and really tee this up because I'm a fan.
Yeah,
for the record, guys, I'm a musician.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go. So he's not a wrestler.
I'll make my own song, damn it.
Challenge accepted. We need that for
we
the
ain't
finale.
paying for
it. Fair. Bye for real.
But Bill Martin coming
I'll buy you
home
a beer.
with the victory. A couple of beers for sure. And we'll see if we can get these cables sorted out here. Mikey, see if we can get a hold of Brian Hacker, P2 finisher here tonight.
Hack, you got a copy?
This thing turned on.
Hey, there you go. You've gotten this far here now. P2, Brian, man, what an awesome race. Picked up quite a few spots like Bill Martin. Martin was the hard charger here tonight with 19 spots. You have picked up 11 for the 11, the magic number. Did you have something there at the tail for Martin?
No, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy with the second. Like he said, we run in a lot of leagues together. We know each other relatively well, and at least in terms of how we race one another. So I have a pretty good idea of how Bill's going to run and how he's not going to run. So him getting once he pulled away and I was able to sneak by second, I figured if I could hold on to second, I'd be pretty happy with it.
Huntley, Illinois, another American in the RBR series. Welcome to this six-pack season for 2022. You're not that far from Bill Martin, so I guess if he gets out of hand, you can always get in the truck and head over there and lay the smackdown.
Yeah, we're about an hour away, so I'm right outside of Chicago. Madison's not too far, so we're pretty close to one another, and we're mounting the American invasion.
There you go. One pit strategy here tonight at Nashville. Is this a favorite of yours? Is Nashville on your top chart?
Nope, it sure isn't. I'm not really a fan. I was a little nervous starting a new league, week 1 at Nashville. I'm okay enough here, but it's certainly not a strong track of mine. So to come home second, I'm pretty tickled with it.
There you go, man. Well, great run to see you come up through the field. Great intro to us at Vidane TV, as well as the RBR Series fans all across Canada, United States. You guys getting it done here tonight. Who gets it done for you, Hacker? Any special thanks tonight?
First off, good win to Bill up there. Thanks for inviting me to all the race admins and letting me come on board. And I think it's RBR Maritime for putting this thing together. The side of the car has Carbon Junction, Narrative Coffee, Pathfinder chassis, and my wife for allowing me to do such a thing.
I always got to thank the wife. So
Yeah, got to thank the wife. But it's good. 1-2 for the old guys, so pretty thrilled with it.
Brian, we heard a little bit of history on Bill there earlier on. Much time in the real race car in your history?
Dabbled here and there. Certainly not as much as Bill, but I've run a few things back. It was probably more like 10 years ago now. I haven't been in a real car in quite some time, but I dabbled a little bit. Now I've been on sim racing since 2017.
Okay, so not the 90s.
Not the 90s. No, I was 5 years old when Bill started sim racing.
Well, man, it's been a pleasure to have you up here in the booth with us and podium finish. We look forward to seeing you guys in week number 2. I think you guys picked up some fans up here in Canada.
Perfect. Well, should be fun. Looking forward to it.
Lady fans.
Oh, well, that's a
what.
given.
Right. Walking out of second place with the Buffett's swag.
Throw him a bush.
Throw him a bush. Throw him a Corona.
Bush.
But a phenomenal run here. Looking forward to the next 5 races here in the RBR Maritime Group. And speaking of the next 5 races, going to talk to Craig Tully, the big boss man here in the RBR Maritime Group. He finished outside the top 5. We'll give him that.
Not talking about that.
We won't talk about that. But Craig, we got one more race scheduled. Inked in. The ink is dry on the finale here at Hickory here for the 6-pack challenge, season number 4 for the RBR Maritime Group. What can these folks, these fans do out there to get in touch with you to try and sponsor some of these next couple of races? Get some of these phenomenal drivers out in front of the fans. Get them on the airwaves here at Vidane TV. Somebody wants to get their brand out there, their company, their logo. How do they reach out to you to sponsor an event here?
Yeah, sounds good. They can reach out to me on Facebook, just search my name, or search RBR Maritime Racing League or iRacing League on Facebook. Just request to join that and reach out. I got some feelers out there. We might have a few more broadcasts throughout the middle of the season or something like that. But
Domino's Pizza.
Domino's Pizza, yeah, or Budweiser or something. But yeah, we love having you guys. It's such, it's very professional and it's awesome. Awesome to rewatch.
Man, Paul, we're moving up in the world.
Wow. That 2.4 Corona is a little bit less than 2.4 here tonight up here in the booth. But, Craig, a phenomenal race here tonight. Very excited to have you guys here for Season 4. Lots of sponsorship opportunities kicking off. We got the season finale inked in here at Hickory here in 5 weeks' time. But there's a couple of races in between there that folks out there can get their brand or their logo or their company out on board. And what better way to get your brand out there than to support sim racing? Because sim racers support those that support their hobbies. And we got a lot of hobbies, but a phenomenal race here at Nashville. Bill Martin coming home on top. You can't really teach old dogs new tricks, but he's got a couple of tricks up his sleeves, and Dr. Noise comes home with the victory. Brian Hacker finishing second. Young Tanton Woldridge finishing in third. Brett Suggs and Noel Fougier rounding out the top 5. That's going to do it here for us at Vidane TV, kicking things off here for season number 4 with the RBR Maritime Group. JPB Construction 150 in the books. And on to Lanier 150 next week, next Tuesday night. Get in touch with Craig Tully, the big boss man here, about some sponsorship opportunities. Try and get these drivers out on the airwaves. Phenomenal race here tonight. Phenomenal race. Very entertaining all the way around from start to finish. Heat races, consi races into the 150-lap feature. And I think everybody is going home happy. But for myself here at Vidane TV, Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., Mike James from Up on the Rock, everybody here with the RBR Maritime Group, all the race officials, Brent Roy, and the other guy. What was his name? Help me out here, Craig. Gammon, that's right, Kyle Gammon. I just saw it like 30 seconds ago. But helping out from up in the tall tower in the red and white, the Canadian penalty booth there as well. We're going to call it a night here. We will catch you on the flip side when we do. We will be doing it live.